Air Marshal Terence Sherry, Minister SB Moyo. Where is Walter Muzembe? Don't forget my blessing Ali. This government, mama, is corrupt and bloodthirsty. No to clueless government, sex for Mr. Appointments. No to gold mafia. Even you, Prophet Angel, you a criminal.
Speaks to Section 328 of the Constitution that says then you cannot then amend the same Constitution and then you become the same beneficiary. There have been both arguments as far as that proposition is concerned. Some say, I honestly wish I could say it better. I did not understand what Ziyambi has been saying. I from the bottom of my heart, maybe you understood. He says there's a difference between term lengthening and extending of the term.
Oh, that's a stupid argument.
I failed to understand.
That's a stupid argument by the minister. And when he made that argument, he had read only Section 95.
Okay. And
Section 95 simply says a person shall hold office for a maximum of 2 terms. And the length of the term shall be 5 years.
Right.
And he thought that if you remove 5 and put 7, it will still be 2 terms.
2 terms, right.
One in the case of President Mnangagwa, 1 term will be 5 years. The other term 7 years.
Okay.
That was before the minister read Section 328.
Right.
And the Section 328 starts with a definition on what a term limit is.
Exactly.
And we say a term limit provision is a provision that lengthens the length of, that increases the length of time that a person holds office. So if you were holding office for 5 years and you then move to 7 years, you have lengthened by 2 years. And if you go to Section 328, subsection 7, which talks about benefiting and so on, again, it uses the term length of time. Length of time is different from number of terms. So when it comes to the Constitution, this amendment, Minister Ziyambi deliberately, or if he doesn't know, then he shouldn't be minister at all, deliberately then ignores where we are talking of length of time.
Right.
So you will see that when we did the Constitution, we talk of term limits in 2 distinct sections. Section 90 to 95, and then we put other things in between, and then we go to Section 328. That was deliberate on our part, because we wanted to make sure that Section 328 is protected. By the time you, as a reader of the Constitution, get there, you'd be so tired of reading the Constitution. And that was deliberate, because we did not want, at that point in time, the rulers, especially President Mugabe, he was the target, unfortunately, of most of these provisions. And unfortunately, these people who are now championing the constitutional amendments were in agreement with us, because they were looking at Robert Mugabe. So when it comes to Section 328, it talks of the length of time.
Exactly.
And at any rate, Tonio, the Constitutional Court has already ruled in the Mpungu case that a typical section that requires a referendum is Section 95. And I don't know why the minister keeps on insisting on something that is objectively very, very, very wrong.
So that means that we already have a judicial precedent as far as the Mpungu case is concerned, one that can actually be used to easily litigate?
Yes, of course, because in law we have a doctrine of stare decisis. That basically means consistency. When you rule on this thing in this manner, first with the same set of facts, your judgment mustn't differ. So in terms of that, there is precedent in the Mpungu case. And Justice Patel in the Mpungu case distinguishes between the Malaba judgment. And the Malaba judgment was talking about the increase in the age limit of the Chief Justice, and not in the term. Yes, because that provision has the age limit and also the term. The term was left to remain intact, but the age limit was changed. So they then said there is a distinction between age limit and term limit. And the judge then goes on to say, any example of a constitutional provision that requires a referendum is the presidential one. They say that in specific terms. And they then go to section 95. And then they say it requires a referendum.
Right.
But if you go to section 328, there are three things I think that the minister and the current government are missing. The first one, of course, is that you can't put a provision that lengthens the term of office and a provision that allows the incumbent to benefit within the same amendment.
Exactly.
You have to do two amendments
Separately. Yeah.
Now, on more than 4 occasions, the minister in his bill has offended that rule.
Okay.
First, when it comes to the president, he says the term is extended to 7, and that the current president must benefit. Then he goes to the MPs, and that they should benefit. I'm not so sure whether he talks about councillors, but he is offending that very, very important rule. And then the other thing is that once you have a term extension, the incumbent mustn't benefit. And the raison d'etre, the reason why we did that, is we were trying to disincentivize the
constitutional amendment so that somebody benefits from them.
Yes.
Unless if they're purely doing it for the next generation.
Yes. So if you really think that it is good for your country, then do it for the next guy.
Not yourself.
And not for yourself. And that was the reason. And I was looking at some of the articles we wrote during COPAC and the interviews we had. And we stressed this point, that we are doing this to disincentivize the incumbents, because we had examples in Africa. President Chiluba tried it. President Abdoulaye Wade of Senegal tried to change the term limits, and in order for them to benefit. And that was the reason why we put it there.
Senator, let's just delve there a little bit. As far as the COPA processions were concerned, there's a video I've always wanted to ask you about. It's been going viral lately. You and Paul Mwonzora, you tried to intimidate you so much. You stood your ground. He says if this continues, I'll then go back to the principal. Make Zimbabweans understand what was the context of that argument. What were you really fighting over that issue? It has really gone viral, and I've always wanted to ask you about that issue.
Well, unfortunately, there were quite a number of incidents. And the film company that was recording the documentary had to reduce 4 years into 100 minutes. So into a 100-minute documentary. So quite a lot of other things.
Cut out, yeah.
Honorable Mwonzora and myself know each other from long back. You may want to know that I was his...
zvekumberi uko zvaanga kutaura zvisisina basa, but zvine basa ndizvozvo zvandati mutange manzwa. Ane nzeve dzekunzwa anongoramba achinzwa, ane meso ekuona anongoramba achiona. Whether ZANU-PF ikati cab 3 yakanaka sei nasei, hazvife zvakachinja kuti vari kumbunyikidza kodzero dzevanhu. Vari kutyora vari kubata chibharo constitution yakagadzirwa neruzhinji. Mitemo mainzwa nevakagadzira vainge varipo. Sarangu ndinonzi DJ Holly. The name of the platform is 0.5 Creative Studios. I'm out.